Hey guys, this is our first major cup competition, the Manufacturers Cup. Your boy signed with Porsche and will be racing in the Cayman GT4 Club Sport. Balance of power applied. This car is spitting 334 horses. Now we'll be at the Autodromo de Interlagos. And first qualifying session, not too bad. Qualifying second, the 141.9. Now I really love this intro. With the way they arranged the cars. They just do like this mini show of different brands that they have. But what is key, what is very interesting about this is the trophy. And I don't know if I really like the trophy. I mean, there's one in real life if you actually make it to the Manufacturers Cup World Finals. But you let me know. This is a very interesting looking trophy. I don't know what the inspiration was behind this, but yeah. Anyway, World Series 2024 online qualifiers, the finals. Carrera in pole position, myself, the bearded right there second, Johnny in third, and Asprika coming in fourth. Club Sports taking position one for our first lap, almost losing our second position to Johnny, but we're able to fight back and hold our own. Carrera already looking like he's gonna pull away from all of us in this real something dust. So at this point, I'll be racing conservatively. We've had a couple of laps around the track, still trying to get comfortable with the braking points, the best, parts of the track to turn in and turn out, getting to know so the track limits. The track limits here were a little bit different from what I'm used to. And then again, overall getting to feel comfortable driving without traction control, an assist that I actually turned off a couple of weeks ago, as I only got to know a couple of weeks ago. So even then, my driver rating hasn't been as good. I dropped from driver rating B to D because when I found out about traction control being an assist and switched it off, everything just went downhill from there. But as we're gonna see in the couple of races that I'm getting a little more comfortable. So this was lap one. Again, just getting to understand the track, get comfortable racing with other people. That's another thing. Racing individually, lap after lap, registering your qualifying time is not the same thing as racing with others. These clean races that you're trying to register, trying to make sure you give way to people where necessary. You need to be able to defend where necessary. Making a little bit of a mistake there in turn 3 and letting Johnny through, just able to slip through. It's gonna be a battle for second, third, and fourth with the Porsches. The boys back at the Porsche factory quite pleased that the Porsches are taking first, second, and third. Thank goodness for the blurring out, otherwise that would have been a penalty. But just like you see, we're able to cut the curb quite interestingly, which ideally I would know would be a penalty because all four wheels are outside line, but the rules were a little different here. A little contact with Johnny and receiving a little more contact. We just love each other as Porsches. We just gotta have a little contact here and there. And the German behind really applying the pressure a little bit too much as he's about to knock me on the back a little bit, but also lose a little bit of control. And interestingly, Johnny has a penalty. Are we able to take advantage of this? So coming up to the penalty line, this is lap 4, and we're just gonna try and push, really hard, try to get ahead and try to secure that second position. Is it going to be enough? Looks like it's going to be enough. Really pushing. Johnny looking like he's playing defense but drifts wide, so we're able to get onto the inside. But remember, I'm racing conservatively, so we're not really going to get this move done like we like to. So he keeps second, I'm in third, but we keep pushing, we keep trying to see, whether we can pull through. Now, unfortunately, this is where my race, just really started to, go off track. And the German behind is able to take advantage of that mistake that I've made and, slip into third while I move down to fourth. Not a really good day so far, and it's only lap 6. Now coming into turn 3, not really making the best decision when it came to accelerating, and we spin off of the track. Terrible, terrible mistake. So now we are battling it out with the Audi TT. And right from this moment, trying to push me all the way to the edge, I just got to realize this is not the cleanest racer. It's definitely going to be a challenge to, get past him. I'm able to brake a little early, almost catching my bumper back there. We're able to slip through. However, it really affects our ability to corner that part. So we're gonna come in a little bit late, really hard on the brakes, and he's gonna almost push me wide, but we're able to hold firm, stay on the track. However, he's going to pull through, and we're gonna try and use the slipstream to try and, stay intact. Picking up a penalty as we get into lap 8, and he really tries to squeeze me towards the end, and unfortunately braking on the wrong surface. So at that point, we just completely gave up on that race. We finished, but we're not really gonna focus on it. So next race, qualifying in third with a 142.1. Notice how it's just a couple of tenths, a couple of hundredths really, that separate 1, 2, and 3. It's really gonna be a tough race. So coming towards the end of lap number 1, the Belgian Duval in the Lamborghini, and the Italian, who is in a WRX STI. Are we going to be able to pull off a miracle in this race? Luckily, Duval makes a little bit of a mistake, and we're able to gain a couple of tenths there. Maybe utilize a little bit of the slipstream to try and catch up. We're actually going to make a very nice move, take advantage of a previous mistake that I made in the last race, as he brakes on the gravel and almost completely throws him off. But a good save from Edouard. We are going to take second, and this is just going to become a chase. Now the Italian about 4 or 5 seconds ahead, so we're just gonna fast forward. This is the second lap. We're gonna fast forward. This is just gonna be a chase, and it's gonna make this video unnecessarily long. But we're really gonna fight for it. So coming into the 7th lap, we've gained a couple of seconds. So I noticed that Gran Turismo replays don't really show the time intervals or the time in between cars. And what happened was I was recording the replay because my console only records up to 15 minutes, and the longer it would be, the lower the quality it would be. So this race took 18 minutes, so I can't record the entire race, which will eventually be edited, but we're gonna figure that out. We're gonna figure out how we can stream. Almost running into the back of the Italian, but making a couple of seconds there. We're now about 0.5 seconds behind him, just chasing him and applying the pressure, hoping that he's gonna make a couple of mistakes. And after feeling it enough, he eventually decides to let me through, but I think it was quite bitter. Quite a bitter loss of opportunity. As you can see, he's really on my bumper, and at this point, it just became quite clear that Gentilego is a loser, a sore loser. Really sad. Just knocking me off the track just when I was about to get my acceleration going. Now, here's the other terrible thing about spinning off the track and into the gravel is that your tires are now dirty. And we're going to see as we come into turn one that it's going to affect my ability to brake and control the car. So Edova had a penalty, so we're able to hold our third position as we come into turn one. But since we spun on the gravel, we're not really able to keep a control of the car. We almost completely lose grip. We're gonna lose a couple of positions there, and then completely spin off of the track. At that point, it's just a disappointing race weekend. So yeah, we move on to the next race, the intro, yada yada yada, with the weird looking Manufacturer's Cup trophy. I just like playing this because it's a new feeling for me to be able to compete worldwide. So coming into the next race, we qualified for first, but we're gonna make a little bit of a mistake there, and well, still going to be able to keep first, but not for long, as the Spaniard in the Ferrari is gonna take advantage. Didn't play defense. I wasn't really thinking about it. He just ended up, popped on the side of my screen. This is not the perspective that I race with. It's more of like a windscreen kind of. It's not inside the car, but it's on the windscreen. So I can't see, like at that point, I hadn't noticed that he braked and I was still trying to give him space because I thought he was still on the right side. But this is also now just going to be a chase throughout the race, and we seemed to be the outstanding drivers throughout the entire race, and we're just gonna pull away from everyone else. But it was a really, really interesting and difficult battle because being able to keep up with such good driver, despite being the same rank, the D rank, it's possible that you could be a really good driver, but in the low ranks because of a couple of scenarios that happen here and there. In the other races in the higher ranks, maybe the other guys are really fast, you're finishing last or in the lower part of the grid, so it's understandable. But he's really good, and you can see he's really starting to pull away, and so it's just gonna be a very difficult chase to try and catch up. So into the third lap, we've gained a couple of tenths at this point, makes a mistake, so really going to try and push the car, try and see if we're going to be able to catch up. Unfortunately not. The Ferrari seems to have really, really good launch and acceleration. How's the strength of the Ferrari? The car is really able to just launch itself out there and get ahead. So coming into turn one of lap 4, and at that point where I've slid off, I got a muscle just when I was really starting to get closer to pole position, to first. Had a nasty muscle pull on my left hamstring and another on my right pinky toe, and it really forced me to kind of like lay back a little bit and not putting as much effort as I was doing. So it became more of a conservative-ish, for lack of a better word, kind of race, since I had started getting aggressive, getting comfortable with the track and everything now because of the muscle pull, and I'm not about to give up this race. It had been a very difficult race day, having a little bit of, well, not a little bit, but not very good results in the last couple of races. So we really have to pull through with this one, even if it's getting second. We have to push through all the way to the end. So as you can already see, really pulling away from everyone else towards the end of lap 4. Now On to lap 7, and something interesting really happens over here is that the Spaniard in front has a 1 second penalty. Now, this is an opportunity to, get through, because how penalties work in Gran Turismo is that when you get to the penalty line, you're forced to slow down, which gives me an opportunity to get in front. And luckily for me, the penalty line is at the stretch towards the finish line. So like you can see there, he's just about to slow down, had a really good exit on that corner. The left-hander, penalty applied, and we're just gonna cruise through all the way into first. It's looking like a really, really bright day for the lads at the Porsche factory in Germany. Crossing the line into the eighth lap, and again my muscle pull just strikes again. It really now starts to bite because we've completely forgotten that we were being a little bit more conservative, got a little aggressive because we're really trying to pull away. So at this point, the Spaniard is like really, really on my neck. He's just waiting for me to make one mistake. He gains a couple of tenths here because I didn't take the third corner correctly as it should have been. We're braking a little bit too late and a little bit hard to be able to navigate that corner, to negotiate that corner. But we're gonna stand firm, we're gonna hold on at first. But the Spaniard is really, really putting on the pressure, taking advantage of the track limits and inching closer and closer as we take each and every other corner. And I'm fighting through this hamstring muscle pull as I try and put on the brakes. Now a little contact from the Spaniard kind of just completely knocks me off of the track as we come out of that hairpin and knocks me into second, and again dirty tires makes it very, very difficult. So we have to be a little bit more controlled as we go through the rest of the race, because it really takes quite some time for the tires to clear off of that gravel. Now, I don't know about the Spaniard because he seems to have been convicted or something. I really can't tell, but just from the final part of the stretch, he really starts to slow down. And, I'm assuming it's because of the corner and when he knocked me off. But slows down, I notice it, and I'm not really aware of what's going on. I actually thought his wheel went dead or something. So take advantage of the opportunity and just go through. So we're back into first, 9th lap. We're gonna try and see if we can hold on. Now the muscle pull at this point is really, really, really starting to get to me. It's difficult to sit properly on the chair. It's very difficult to place myself in a position to, brake, to accelerate, because both legs at this time suffering. I'm losing my mind at this point, but we're gonna push through. We're gonna push hard. We're gonna try and, make it through. So getting it done right at the right hander, and this long, tricky left, you're gonna have to ride the curb a little bit, but we're not gonna get the braking point right for this one. And the Ferrari, of course, just taking advantage of that and slipping again back into first, having no one but myself to blame. Back in second, coming onto the 10th lap. Is this going to be the battle of the century? It's the final lap. Are we going to be able to put in enough just to get through? And surprisingly, the Ferrari makes a mistake with the braking point. We have a little bit of contact there, but we're able to edge through back into first position. The light right at the end of the tunnel. Playing a little bit of defense here. as we're excited at this point, breathing heavily as we come to the third corner, riding um, on the track limits, really trying to maximize the track as much as we can and trying to block any sort of moves that the Spaniard might have, any sort of attack that they may have for us today. Again, riding the track limits into the gravel, to the dirt. Surprisingly, that doesn't really, it's not enough to like mess up your grip on the track. But when all fours, they just completely throw you off. And we approach the long left-handed, this really weird, interesting corner to negotiate. And again, we are gonna get the breaking point wrong, just completely wrong. And the Ferrari, of course, taking advantage, try to edge him out, but no, it's not going to be enough. And the Ferrari starts to say, now something interesting happens over here. He breaks. Now, I'm not really sure that was intentional or just being, handing over the win, but I guess we'll never know. So I'll take you guys back. This is bonus content, by the way. After winning that race, this is some bonus content. I'll take you to what one of my best qualifying laps looked like. Um, this is actually the perspective that I race in. This is how we drive. So as we come to the starting line, of course, again at this point, I think you can also see the livery on the car. It looks a little bit different. So this is the earlier part of the day when I was really still trying to get comfortable with the track and understanding how to negotiate all the corners and the braking points and everything like that. But we are pushing also at this point, really pushing hard, trying to get a timing that is reasonable and everything. Not so great exit on that corner, but we'll take it. We're still able to, get onto the power quite early and come out strong. So far, looking good, negotiating the corners and everything. I don't like this format of qualifying because there are other cars on the track, and it's actually a possibility of running into the other cars. Yes, you can be blurred out, but the stewards aren't really good when it comes to blurring out the car when needed. So one really needs to be careful while they're racing. So the qualifying was really going well until this point where I just catch the edge of the curb and completely lose control of the car and spin onto the gravel and completely ruining what was a good lap. So it means during this race we're really going to have to fight hard. We're most likely going to start at like the bottom of the grid, like probably 16th, which is really difficult now to fight through. And there you go, 15th on the grid. It's really going to be a difficult race. So we finished third. Somehow we forgot to save the replay, but this was the greatest comeback in history, from 15th to third and the fastest lap. Well, there you have it, guys. Bonus content. Thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like and subscribe, leave a comment or two, and until next time, we'll see you.